Hi viewers, this is Kumar. You are watching Kumar's Academy. Today I am reciting and explaining the poem The Schoolboy. The Schoolboy is a poem which is written by William Blake. You know that William Blake is a romantic writer, the great poet who has written many poems, and his collection is called The Song of Experience and the Song of Innocence. And even he has written many books and poems on the labor, especially the child labor, and about the children. So now we can see his brief introduction. William Blake, who was born in 1757 and died in 1827. He is a poet and a painter. Was born in a Soyo, the son of Hosier. Hosier means the textile or the cloth businessman, like that. He had a little formal education but was apprenticed to James Basire, an eminent engraver, and then sent to the Royal Academy. His finest work as an artist is the series Invention to the Book of Job. His collections of poetry include poetical sketches written in 1783, and I have already mentioned his greatest collection of poems are Songs of Innocence 1789, Marriage of Heaven and Hell 1790, and Songs of Experience 1794. The Schoolboy is a poem which has been taken from his collection called Songs of Experience. It is a small lyric, but it talks us about the child, his behavior, especially how he feels when he was kept in a prison or a jail like a school or a home. So now, before knowing the poem, we can just have some look on the glossary, the new words of the poem. Huntsman means hunter. Winds is a horn. Blows is a horn. A cruel eye outworn. Authoritarian ways of teaching. Here teacher is mentioned. Dismay, the feeling of fear and discouragement. Dismay, feeling of fear and discouragement. Anxious hour means restless hour of the boy. Learning bower, metaphor for the school. Dreary shower, here it emphasizes tiresome aspect of the school. Blast of winter, strong gust of winter or a snow storm. So this is the poem that we have to go and read it now. So before that, I will give you a theme, a brief introduction or the summary of the poem. What the poem is actually it is. This poem, it tells about the schoolboy. The boy, when he was out of the school, in the lap of the nature, he was very happy. He was most happiest person, observing a rustle of the leaves, the nature greenery, the scenery, the birds song, especially the skylark song, the whistle of the huntsman. So he was very happy. When he enters into the school, his all happiness, the joy which was driven away. And when he entered the school, the rules, the regulation, the discipline were imposed on that boy. The boy sat drooping. He was so tired and he was not interested in teaching of his teacher. because he thought that they are the words of the teachers, the lecturers, whatever they are, it is useless for him, because his interest is there outside the world, in the nature. So he feels that he has kept in prison. He is behind the bar now, and the four walls of the schools, they are called the learning bower now. They are like a jail to him. So he asked many questions to his father, mother, that why you are nibbing the bud, because the children are like the buds, and why you are disappearing my valuable life of enjoyment. So in this poem, even the poet who describes the three seasons of the earth, winter, summer, spring, and even he promotes learning outside the classroom. Poet says that there is a real learning outside the classroom, and he gives even alternative methods of education to the school is a nature. We know that William Blake is a romanticist, and he always believed in nature and subjectivity and emotions. So he says that the child learns spontaneously and natural creativity when he was out of the school. Informally he learns it. Nature was the only relief to develop the idea of a community. So the poet expresses a lot about the boy and his mentality, how he thinks. So this is all we know. Next, we can go and read this poem. The name of the poem is The School Boy. So let's start to recite the poem now. I love to rise in a summer morn when the birds sing on every tree. The distant huntsman winds his horn and the skylark sings with me. Oh, what a sweet company. But to go to school on a summer morn, oh, it drives all joy away. Under a cruel eye outward, the little ones spend the day in sighing and dismay. Then at times I drooping sit and spend many an anxious hour, nor in my book can I take delight, nor sit in learning's bower, worn through with a dreary shower. How can the bird that is born for joy sit in a cage and sing? How can a child, when fears annoy, but droop his tender wing and forget his youthful spring? O father and mother, if birds are nipped and blossoms blown away, and if the tender plants are stripped of their joy in the springing day by sorrow and care's dismay, how shall the summer arise in joy, or the summer's fruit appear? Or how shall we gather what grief destroyed? Oh, or bless the mellowing year when the blast of a winter appear. So now that I have recited the poem, now just let's to listen its explanation. I love to rise in a summer morn when the birds sing on every tree. The distant huntsman winds his horn and the skylark sings with me. Oh, what a sweet company. Here the boy expresses his joy when he was out of the school. I love to rise in a summer morn. He says that when it was a summer, I was very curious to rise and get up early in the morning. Why? Because when the birds sing on every tree, because I have to listen the song of the sea tree where the birds sing every day. The distant huntsman winds his horn, and afar there in a distance, the huntsman who whistles, the huntsman who winds his horn. I like that. I want that to listen it. And the skylark sings with me when I used to go. When I go in the early morning, I sing with a song of a skylark. The song, the melodious song of skylark, which pleases me. Oh, what a sweet company. What a sweet company, I cannot forget it. He explained it as the Wordsworth who expresses his inner feeling in a Daffodils poem. That is a poem written by William Wordsworth. When he remembers it in his inward eye, like the same, the boy who is feeling that he wants to get up and he wants to listen the song of a bird, huntsman's winds of his horn, and skylark's song. In the next stanza, he says that, but to go to school on a summer morn, oh, it drives all joy away. Under a cruel eye outward, the little ones spend the day in sighing and dismay. He expresses his grief in this stanza. He says that when I was happy, when I was with nature, when I entered into the school, sudden a moment I lost every joy. The joy which was driven away. The school sucked my all joy. But to go to school on a summer morn, oh, it drives all joy away. Why? Because there is a rules, regulations, disciplines, and there is a more talks and lessons teachings. So we always have to be under the supervision of the teachers, the lecturers. So this is under cruel eye outward. Eye outward means the teacher. There is a supervisors. The little ones spend the day in sighing and dismay. He says that the little ones here, the small boys, the boy who wishes to play, they spend the day in sighing. Sighing means just showing their griefs out, and dismay. In a surprise, in a boredom, they have to show. And then at times I drooping sit, and I spend many an anxious hour, nor in my book can I take delight, nor sit in a learning's bower, o'er through with a dreary shower. Here the boy who is expressing his a deep sadness, the grief that, then at times I drooping sit, when I was in a school, I have to sit